I'd never imagined retiring before my 65th birthday. And that was always the intent, and I had no desire to retire. And that would have been, I'm 64 now, so that would have been next year. And it wasn't until I reached 60 that retirement opened up as an option. And you'd retired at 55.
I did want to retire earlier. Yes, so I retired at 55 on the back of
my GSK pension.
Pension.
I think when we realised that there were too many questions we couldn't answer. Questions like, should we pay off the mortgage on the house or not? What's the best way of using our money to be, to avoid paying unnecessary tax? What about retirement? I mean, at that point I was 55 and looking probably ahead at 10 years working before retirement at 65. But could we afford that? What would 65 look like? So there were too many questions we were not able to tackle ourselves. And that's when we thought we needed financial help, which is when we called on Capital. Well, it came about because we'd been with Barclays. We had a premier bank account manager who used to contact us regularly. And they were good at helping us manage our Barclays account. But then when we wanted to start to talk about broader things, and especially I was looking then at leaving GSK, and I was leaving with the benefits of quite a large redundancy package, they said, well, we can't really advise you on that. So they gave us the unbiased.com website. And I remember going on that, and it asked us a few questions about what our goals were. And it came up with some recommendations of financial advisors. And Capital were one of those. And so we contacted Capital as a result of that. The experience working with Capital has been an interesting one. It's been, I would be trite to say a journey, but it has been at times painful experience, because I think the fundamental thing we've learned is a true understanding of where the money goes, a true understanding of what our income looks like, and a true understanding of what finance sits behind us, and therefore what future might look like. And we've been helped to consider what life might look like at the age of 80 or 90 or even beyond that, something we would never have considered. And we've basically been, it's almost as if we'd had our whole life ahead mapped out. And we now know that what our own goals are as individuals are supported by the money we've got, the money we've got invested, the income we get. And that was something we would never have had. So I think the experience has been that. At times it's felt like we've been chastened and encouraged, and it's also the comfort of knowing at times when we'd needed to make some decisions. An example I'd give you there would be we'll have a son, we have a daughter, both of whom were living with us at the time, getting into their 30s, thinking, when are these two going to move out? And talking to yourself and through Capital, we were able to identify ways in which we could support them, get their deposits together, and they're both now living in their own properties, they've got their own mortgages, but they're now independent of us. And again, navigating that was quite important to us. We always wanted to support them, but we found a way of doing that. I think now we have a very clear view on all aspects of our finance. We have a very clear view on what we want, and we know whether or not we can afford it. Yes, I think you certainly helped us understand how the money works, how the money markets work. What your much used phrase is when we stress about local issues and things like Brexit or whatever, that your standard response is you own the world, and you've helped us understand how a diversified portfolio gives us some protection, and we can see how the money instruments you use works to our benefit to create that security.
Fabulous. Great, fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, with your help, we've been able to map it all out ahead. We know what we're aiming for. We know what we want to do, and we've done it. And we
Yeah.
are doing it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And I think as you ease into it, you get an increasing knowledge of what you want to do. We just in the last couple of years taken back up caravanning again, and we are that person in front of you in the queue, towing a caravan. I'm afraid, but we love it, and in this last 12 months, it's really caused us. Actually, this is what we want to do. We come the summer, we want to be away, sitting in a field and enjoying nature, and we love that. And we're going to. In fact, as of now, we've got next year pretty much planned out, and it's 10 weeks worth in the caravan. So we just love that. I think you give yourself your own freedom, but I think you can only give yourself that freedom when you've got the confidence of knowing that there's structure that sits behind that. So I think what you've given us is the permission to be free in making those decisions about, in the first instance, it was retirement. It was freedom to, invest in our children's properties with them. It was freedom to get ourselves a caravan. It was freedom to enjoy a lifestyle. So I think that's what it's given us, is the freedom to choose that ourselves. And the knowledge that, I wouldn't say whatever happens, but pretty much behind us, we've got a fairly solid foundation that we can rely on.
Yes, 100%. And I've said it before, I will say it again. We should have asked you earlier.
Absolutely, yeah. I say to people now, I've become a bit of an IFA bore to people, and I say, do you have a financial advisor? You really should, and I would absolutely recommend Capital to anybody, because as Norma said, if we'd done it 10 years, 20 years earlier, we would have been in a very different situation. However, where we are is brilliant.
Yes, it is.
We love it.
Yes,
And a lot of it is down to the fact that we reached out, 10 years ago. It is about 10 years now, to yourselves as an organisation. And there's no way we would say we regretted it in any way.